Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video I'm going to cover sights, little tips and tricks that I do with my sights and what I like and what I don't like. And hopefully you guys will get a better understanding what you think you should use or what you might want to avoid in the future. And yeah, so guys, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So moving into all the sights that I use generally, these are the main ones. If I'm going to use the best in slot meta at the moment, unfortunately, it's a bit of a weird one. The MPR 45 is a side mount. It actually mounts onto the side of a rifle, and you have a tilted sight. I don't know if it's meant to be like this, but it is an actual faster ADS time, so aim down sight time. Having it like this, I'm guessing in the future this might change. So when you see like people when you're shooting at them and their elbows cocked up in the air, that's because you're using a canted sight. Now, these are kind of crazy at the moment for all the top tier sweaty guys. Not everyone uses them, but there are a lot of people that do. I made a video in the past about this. If you're interested in trying it out, go for it. The MPR rail, the mount, is actually really cheap. You can buy them up on the flea market very cheaply, and you can chuck these on the majority of modded rifles. Now, I'm going to just leave that one there. It is the best in slot one, and I do use it from time to time, but it's not the only one I use, and there are a lot of reasons why I use different sights. So I'm going to go over the close range sights that I actually use myself first, and then we'll go over to the long range from there. If I'm going to use a close range sight, the PK06 is my go-to sight. Now, in the past, there's been videos coming out saying that it's not as accurate as you could imagine, but I don't seem to have any issues with it at all. There are other options for the PK06 being the Weaver sight if you want to go down a path for a different sight. The Weaver's not too bad as well. It comes down to how you have your reticle set up. You want to change your reticle, Alt and right click. Just right click it, and each time you click it, it'll change the reticle. Personally, I just keep the PK06 with the normal like default setup on the reticle, and that's pretty much my go-to sight for close range. There are two exceptions from this. This is the OKP7 and the Cobra mount, the Cobra sight. These two sights are really handy. The main sight I use the Cobra on, or the main rifle I use the Cobra on, is actually the PP19. If I do a budget run, I chuck that sight on a PP19 with one spare mag in a backpack, and then I go into labs. And this is a beautiful gun for shredding raiders. As long as they don't have a face shield, you can drop them really quickly. It's very accurate, very good firing rate, and it's a really cheap setup. So I use that a fair bit when I want to do a cheap budget run. As long as you're confident using the guns that the raiders have and slower gear up from there, you can actually do a lot with that. The OKP7 also goes on, and it is a fair option. What I would probably suggest using the OKP7 on more than any other gun is actually the ASVEL. It's not the most accurate sight on the ASVEL, but it doesn't take up half your screen. So if you put one of the other mounts that can go on instead, the ASVEL does get quite congested on your screen. So it's a personal preference with that one, but I actually do use that one quite a bit with the ASVEL. And then the Cobra is my good go-to sight for the PP19. Now, there's something to note with these two and the next one I'm going to talk about, the PSO. Every single gun on the right-hand side here, and I'm sure there's others that I've missed, can mount these without any other rail required. So you can put them on every single one of these. So you've got your 9mm. These are all 545. These are all 7.62. You've got your ASVEL ammo, and then you've got the SVD. All of these go straight on. You don't need to have a separate mount. Now, if you do want to put these on some of these rifles, you can use the Cobra, the Pillad mount here, or this one's been recently added, the B13. By recently, I mean 5 months ago. These all go on as well, and then you can have a lower profile. So these ones aren't. This one's not too bad at all. This one's from Skier 2. And you could chuck these sights straight onto it. Works really well. Now, the other option you got here is the Tactical Tool 10,000. This one is from Skier 2. This goes on the majority, and this will have the lowest profile for your sights. Tactical Tool goes on pretty much any sort of AK. It's really good for that. It's pretty much the go-to rail for anything sight related on your AKs. Now, when it comes to like M4s, HKs, all that, I either use the tilted sight, the canted sight with the MPR 45. You've got the PK06. Or if I want to go to range, and this is where I'm going to touch into the next length of sights or distances, I guess, is I use the PSO or the Velde. Now, I think the Velde is probably the best range sight in the game by far. There's nothing really that comes near it. I'll be showing on the side here when you hold Alt and right click, you can change the view distance. It's a 1 and 6 times, so you can use it at close range, or you can use it at the 1 times to be able to scan for your targets. Switch it over to 6 times once you see your target, and you get those really crisp picture from range, which is really nice. Now the PSO is a really, really good sight to go on guns. The other one that I forgot to chuck out here was the SKS. If you got the dovetail mount on an SKS, you can put a PSO on it. Makes it really, really useful. An SKS was my favorite gun in the game for a long time, but the PSO is good to go for that. Now with the Velde, I pretty much use this as my long range scope for every single gun in the game. If I'm using snipers or anything like that, the Velde is my go-to. Now there are different mounts for each gun. My big suggestion here is if you're unsure that you want to put a scope on a ASVL and you're not sure which mount goes on it, generally if you go to link search and gear mods, you can go to mount and it'll show you which mounts will work there. Sometimes it will be a little bit more difficult when you right click it. I don't have a good example here, but if you right click and go link search, you might not actually get the right part that you need to put the mount on. You might need to double click on it, go to say whatever part it is, and then go link search there, and that's where you'll find the mount. Now, obviously, that one didn't work, but it depends on the actual gun. I can't remember anyone off the top of my head, but there are some that are like that. The next one I want to talk about is the Reaper IR. It's a very interesting scope. It's got a really low refresh rate, so your frames drop when you're using it, or the sight of the frames on the sight drop when you're using it. It's not a very good scope for actually fighting people, but I do love using it as a spotting scope. So I call it my pocket thermal. Ghost Freak and I have done this a lot. Generally, we put one in our container, and then we'll take it out, use it, and then put it back in. We won't actually use it to shoot people, but it'll be like, okay, we're hiding on woods. We've got like a nice little sniper nest we're going to be shooting from, and I want to quickly scan the horizon and places that I might find an enemy. You'll literally take it out, you'll quickly look around, and then you'll chuck it back in. And it's that simple. You won't do anything else. Once you find the person, you'll have your other gun selected. You'll press 2 to go back to your other gun, chuck that back in your container, and then you'll go shoot. It's a quick thing you do, but you use it to spot people because thermal sight is very expensive to run. It can be quite good. I would only use it really on customs. I feel like woods and shoreline have too many angles that sometimes you just die from someone who's from a flank you could have never covered because it was just too much going on. Customs is a lot more like tunneled. The map, there's not as much width on the map, so you really don't have to worry as much for the extremities or for all 4 directions, and there's no worrying about higher and lower besides around dorms really. Something like Interchange is actually a really hectic map. There's 3 levels, lots of angles, lots of corners. I would not be taking a thermal in that unless I was going to use it, say, on my M4 as my sight as I'm patrolling around. But as a pocket thermal, I usually save that one for, say, woods and shoreline. But you could use it on an M4, say, on Interchange, if that was going to be your primary sight, and say you used an MPR 45 mount as your alternate sight. Now, I'm going to have 2 honorable mentions. They're honorable in 2 reasons. The hammer sight. This used to be my go-to sight before the Velde. Once the Velde was added, I never really went back to it. The hammer sight is quite good because you actually put a delta point into it as well, and you can actually switch from looking through the main sight and then switching to the top sight and being able to rotate in between, which is really good. The next one, which is an honorable mention for the worst reason possible, it is fucking horrible. The only gun I've actually had any luck using this on is a Remington 700 as a sniper rifle, because you can quickly change the sight out from in between. The reason why this one is horrible is even when the back sight's not on, the FOV zoom that comes with it makes it really hard to do a full auto burst on, say, an M4. I feel like my crosshair's jumping all over the place, and it's really difficult to shoot. Personal preference, I don't really see a lot of people using it after it initially came out. A lot of people using it just to try it out, and it's really died off since. Like I said at the start of this video, a lot of these scopes are personal preference, and I highly suggest you check them out, try different ones, and then if you find something that you like, then definitely use it and keep using it. So guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here. It's got a lot of information there that might be new or just a bit of a refresher. But if you are particularly new to the game, go and try out some of these scopes. Try out some of the other ones that you might think might be good. And then just figure out which ones work best for you. But these ones, after a long period of playing this game, I find have worked the best for me. And that's why I'm suggesting it to you. So guys, to finish up, thanks for watching another video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for future content. I do stream on Twitch every day of the week, so go down, link below, give me a follow over there. We hit 100,000 followers yesterday, which is absolutely amazing. You guys are incredible. I've got a really cool video to put out tomorrow night for that. A guy that likes making meme videos for me, I'm sure you might have saw the Tarkov memes video that I posted a while ago. He's made another one for 100,000 followers on Twitch. So to finish up, guys, if you got any Tarkov questions, feel free to hit up my live stream or down in the comments below. And lastly, I'll see you next time. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest bum 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 bum.